We need more sustainable housing in a nutshell, because there are many people in the world who still live in substandard housing, which is not sustainable. Therefore, at least you need better housing, which is sustainable housing, to improve the quality of life of these people. A long answer is that there are many conditions to achieve sustainable housing according to the pillars of sustainability: economic, environmental, and social. You need housing to be integrated to the economy, to be integrated to the settlement, to respect people's social networks, cultural networks, and environmental sustainability. So all these take time to address. They are not addressed at the same level all over the world. Therefore, we need more sustainable housing. Yeah, there are many different organizations working in many different aspects of housing sustainability. Of course, it's very difficult for one single organization to do everything, or to do everything throughout all the world. So they need to complement each other. But again, it's not an easy process to complement a large number of organizations working policies, in projects, in research, etc., in different countries. Therefore, networking provides a very important contribution to bring all this together. Well, the ILO's work is related to the decent work agenda, which includes the provision of adequate employment, social protection, workers' rights, and social dialogue. My work includes the promotion of a decent work agenda in housing, and this is very motivating because there is a great connection between housing and the world of work. First of all, there is a large number of construction workers engaged in the production of housing throughout the world, but they face many problems which need to be addressed. So I'm very much engaged on helping this issue to be improved. The decent work challenges to be addressed include, for example, informal work, casual work, safety and health problems, lack of social dialogue, to mention a few. At the same time, there is a great opportunity to promote decent work through housing, because I've mentioned the backlog in housing, in appropriate housing. There are millions of housing units that need to be built throughout the world, and there is therefore a great opportunity to provide employment and decent employment. In addition to this, housing is usually an important entrance point to the local economy. Therefore, it is opportune and it's possible to promote the local economy via housing production, with multiplier effects on other sectors, providing more employment. And finally, I would like to mention the existence of many home-based enterprise, people who work from home. Therefore, housing is not only a place of living, but it's also a place of work, and this needs to be taken into account in housing policies. One project that worked really well, in my opinion, and indeed under difficult circumstances, is a project called 16/6, which was implemented in Port-au-Prince in Haiti. After the earthquake in 2010, the residents from 16 settlements were moved to 6 camps. This is why the project is called 16/6. And what the project did was to bring these people back to the original 16 settlements with improved housing and with income generating activities. This worked well because normally poor people, to make a living, they tend to rely a lot on social capital and on local networks of contacts. When they are moved outside the original settlements, they lose these connections and this social capital. And this often leads to the failure of new housing projects. So by bringing the residents back to the original settlements, the 1606 respected this circumstances. They provided the residents the opportunity to remain with their social networks, with the contacts, and as I said, provided better housing and provided low income generating activities. The ILO was one of the agencies involved. It provided training for construction workers with an approach called BBB, Building Back Better, which means improving the housing quality and also making it earthquake resistant. This is the example of a good project. An example of a not so good project is the opposite, the one which moves people away from their initial settlements, and by doing so disrupt the social networks, the social capital, and the local networks of contacts. There are many cases of failure of housing projects throughout the world because of this. This is one I suggest to be avoided. Another type of project that I suggest to be avoided is the one that, while providing good quality of housing, it does not provide good quality of employment for the construction workers. So the quality of housing and the quality of the employment needs to come together. For sustainable, affordable housing to go mainstream, you need research, you need upstream policies, you need local projects, you need all the activities and actions in a program cycle. At the same time, we have to acknowledge that there are many organizations working in different parts of the cycle. It's very difficult for a single organization to do everything. Therefore, networking is very important. The transfer of knowledge, transfer of good cases, and also knowledge about what did not work. And for this, the global network of sustainable housing plays an important role. Well, a pipe dream project would be, in a very broad sense, to be able to provide sustainable housing for everybody in the world, in a nutshell. The concept of sustainability is complex. There are many different aspects and sub-aspects, so it's not easy to provide sustainable housing to everybody at the same time throughout the whole world. So we acknowledge this. The pipe dream is to get there at some point, so I believe in an incremental approach in which you gradually increase the sustainability of housing, and that's what we are doing, and other people are also working on this, and hopefully together we will get there more and more. And in specific terms, I think that it's very important to address the substandard housing conditions of many poor people throughout the world, people who literally live in the streets or in slum areas in very poor housing conditions. They need to be a priority. Therefore, I hope that we can sooner rather than later address the housing needs of the poor. And this also includes the construction workers. Many of them are also poor.